Welcome to another wonderful episode of your Startup Celebrity Show. Today we have the wonderful mermaid and mother, Melody. Whoa, it all starts with MMM. Mother, mermaid, Melody. You should totally do that. The mother, mermaid, Melody. So I'm so excited to have her here. I met her many years ago, through Facebook, and here we are today, and it's really super amazing. So if you think that Facebook is not working for you, think again. Facebook is a tool, Facebook is literally a tool. You need to use it to your advantage. So I am your host. If you don't know who I am, you should, because I run a very successful Facebook group called the Spiritual Entrepreneurs, where we're hosting more than 17,000 members from around the world. So it's fine if you don't know me, but if you want to know the rest of the 17,000 members, and you are thinking, oh my God, where should I start? That's a good place to start. And I invite you to join us. All right, so who is Melody? Melody, if you don't know her, and you should as well, because she has an amazing story. And after listening to her, you would definitely think that your money story is not really of a story. So anyway, she's a divine lifestyle alchemist. She's coaching multi-passionate entrepreneurs who wants to flourish with a solid lifestyle that supports and nurtures all of their passions instead of just struggling, and who wants to juggle it all. Alrighty, so welcome, Melody.
Hi, Elise. Hi, Elise and everyone. Thank you for having me here.
You're so welcome.
So I'm the mother mermaid. Mermaid mother. I like that.
Yeah. So
helping people to find their manifesting sweet spot to make all of their dreams come true. That's another M.
I know, right? And money's another M. So tell us, how many children do you have?
Just 4.
Just 4.
4 boys.
And your husband 5, right? So you have 5 boys in your life. So pardon that little honk thing, it's just the guy going over and well, you and I both have lifestyle business, so things happen. Either the children pops up or the car on, so you'll go away. Anyway, so tell us more about you.
Me? Well, I started my, this manifesting journey when I, went bankrupt, and where I felt, woke up one day, realized after doing everything that I was told, getting good grades, going to a prestigious college, getting a good job in Hollywood, and actually making really good money, making, really close to 6 figures in my 20s, which was a long time ago.
You don't have to tell people that.
I know, I won't say when, but back then, it was a lot of money, a lot more than now, let's just say. So, and then I realized, you know what? Doing everything that I was told did not bring me happiness, did not bring me fulfillment. So then I started my search to find more meaning to life, so to speak. And just my children also led me to, keep searching, because I just didn't have all the answers from the experts. Mm-hmm. So, and I went on my manifesting journey. And, when The Secret came out, and really honing and experimenting the theories of, positive thinking, visualizing, and I did manifest all my dreams, dream home, lots of money, $1 million contract for my husband, all kinds of things. And I even at the time realized that I didn't want to be working so hard, because I just had a baby, my 4th baby. So I decided third baby. That was my 3rd baby. I wanted to just enjoy life. So I manifest all these things. But the thing about it is that just manifesting things does not bring us fulfillment. So then I went on my soul journey to really integrate the two, because and now I coach people who are wanting to manifest, but I have to teach them to integrate the soul journey. Because what happens is when we're desiring, to manifest certain things, it sparks a new desire sparks a soul journey because it brings up things, from deep within that makes you question, makes you to seek. And if you can connect to your soul, that is when your manifesting power just explodes and where the true fulfillment comes from. So that's my little story so far.
Cool. And so you shared something really interesting earlier on about bankruptcy and listening to the experts. So the bankruptcy is a good story. But I want to just go back to the experts. Who are the experts in your life that told you everything that you needed to do? Who were you listening to that created the life that you didn't want?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, at the time there were, my parents, society, culture, so everything outside of me. And I felt like, I used to be, super shy, just super, suppressing my gifts and my light and just, I was born in Korea and grew up in Japan when I was really little. When, we moved when I was 4. So I have this Asian background, even though I moved to the US when I was like 9, and I thought I was, Americanized, and, I am to a certain extent, but it's like our DNA we still hold on to this cultural ideas and patterns and programs that, that women need to, you know what I mean? All that stuff that we need to hold back our, our thoughts, our truth. And so that was really like embedded within me. And yeah, I just, studied really hard and be the nice person.
What are the cultural things, that were holding you back as a woman?
Back then or now?
Like back then.
Or recently? Oh, back then? Not really being true to myself, I guess.
I think that's like universal, not really cultural, right?
Yeah, universal too. Exactly. Yes, universal. And I think just even more the Asian culture is still like that now, how as Americans, the whole feminist movement, everything, women. Now if I guess just outwardly verbal, just the main culture, the mainstream will support the equal thinking for women and men in America, they'll say it, right? It's like the mainstream, but in reality, men still get paid more and things like that, get preferential treatment at work. And so
that being said, I'm curious, right? Like you have this cultural thing with women. It's interesting. Women has, you just said men makes more money than women no matter what. And then now as an Asian couple living in America, do you follow the traditional rules where women have to follow behind the husband, or how does that work out in your dynamic living in America, which is so Americanized and open?
Well, see, when I married my husband, we met when we were 18, and I was very conscious of not following the cultural norm. And so, the Asian culture. So I made sure.
Was your husband open or was he closed?
Well, he was open. That's the only way we got together. We started dating because he was totally open. And so I was very passionate and outspoken back then with him when I first met him. And so I made sure that he was, totally open and liberal and those things. But the funny thing is, because it's in our, our DNA and in our like embedded culture, that after we got married, we've been married for 21 years.
Wow.
And so after having kids and kind of like, you fall into your comfortable patterns. And so there were little things that kept coming up. So it's interesting that it's not like a, bold, obvious things where he would never say, oh, because you're a woman, you should do this, gender roles or anything like that. But little things. And I think that it's kind of a universal thing where women, we, as mothers, we play the martyr and, sacrifice. And we think that we as mothers need to take care of all the babies and, that we, since we're nursing and all that we're better at it. So we'll just do a better job kind of thing. So I think that's kind of an internal thing, but I have to be conscious and aware of am I being unbalanced, or am I being my true self, and honoring myself as a whole divine being, or am I falling into the role, playing the role? So yeah, I mean, I think little things come up. It's an ongoing thing for everybody, I think.
Yeah. So I know, you didn't share this publicly like now, but I know you have written, shared this on your Periscopes that you grew up, well, your parents are multimillionaires. And so how did you end up bankrupt?
Oh my gosh. Right. Because I grew up with so much abundance and it was a norm. And this is, but the thing was, I was so, I grew up, needing to be proper and, showing this perfect facade all the time that I was so embarrassed. And even in the midst of it, I didn't even tell my parents.
Embarrassed about what?
That I failed basically, with this, great college education that I couldn't figure it out kind of thing, that I failed. And I didn't even tell my parents. I'm sure I could have asked them for money. And I just felt like a failure, like this big shame. And that I didn't want to seem like I totally failed. So I didn't even tell anyone, like any of my friends or anything. And so it's only recent that I actually, share once in a while because, Facebook, it's like you have relatives and all that stuff. And I don't know. And little while ago, I didn't want to share because I didn't want to embarrass them kind of thing, but, more and more I'm sharing my truth and I feel like it could help other people. And it's not anything to be ashamed. It's everyone fails. It's just part of, mistakes are how we learn. So now I know, but back then, I was so ashamed. And I think why I fell into that is because I wasn't aware, I wasn't really aware of what I was thinking or how I was unconsciously creating my life, so I was really stuck in the negative thoughts and, kind of in that playing victim and blaming everybody else and not really owning my part of it.
Right. So it's really interesting because you grew up with so much abundance. Your parents are multimillionaires, so you have no problem with money. So where did you get this money story from? Like how did you end up? Most people have a money story from birth, and they've been struggling, right? But you don't. How did you get that money story?
You know what? Actually, it's very interesting, and I don't want to blame other people, but I think one big thing is that my parents didn't really consciously teach me,
right?
And because for them, they were immigrants and they actually, started their own business, and they were
kind of here, or did they make their money in Korea?
No, here, U.S.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, so then, by right, you should just follow the rules, right?
Yeah, so I did actually believe that, they just, whatever they did, they only had the same business, that they didn't keep trying new things or anything like that. So it just exploded. And so I thought that's how it was. And after I, went to college and, my dad used to when I was it 17 or 16 when I got my license, he was one of those one day, he would honk the horn, and I would go outside. He brought me a brand new car. It was like that. So I never really had to work, for anything. But yeah, I just thought that if I went to college and I got a good job and I got married and stuff, that everything would work out. And when it didn't, and I have to say part of it was that my husband, but really, my husband's, and, as soul beings, we coordinate and we orchestrate our lives so that we can learn, so people come into our lives so that we could learn, what we want to. So for me, that's how it happened after I got married. And I know. And I bought into this whole like cultural thing where I, kind of, not disagree or not making feel bad. And then, when you're young, everything is kind of experiencing too. So I kind of went along like, okay, let's see what you think. And he was a finance major too. And seriously, I thought, oh, so he knows everything about money. I don't have to worry about it. And after bankruptcy and everything, I realized, wow, number one, I can't, I shouldn't rely on my parents. And number two, I can't rely on my, husband.
Sure.
And so I actually went through like this nervous breakdown or like this midlife crisis when I was like 32, really early, and which was a blessing and in disguise, I guess. It's like my breakdown moment.
Sure.
And I remember I was so desperate that I went and bought Tony Robbin's CDs, and I forced my husband to listen with me. Like, I'm like, sit down, let's write out our goals. But it's basically, it was a way for us to communicate and decide together, choose a different life together and committing to change. So, and then I just became voracious about learning everything and, wanting to change. And, I learned about real estate, and I thought I just read every book I could get on, real estate law, real estate accounting, real estate, everything, even though it was super boring, because I remember reading somewhere like the Kennedys and all these wealthy people, they all had real estate. And I thought, why not me? If, they can do it, I'm sure I can learn. So, we got into real estate, and that helped to turn things around.
Cool. So I was going to ask you, how did you turn that around? But you jumped before me and you shared with us how you turned that around. So my question is, how long did you allow, or how long did it take for you to figure a way out to, well, of course you said real estate, right? But how long did that take you to figure that out? And how long did you stay in the bankruptcy moment?
Oh gosh, I feel like I am like, I don't want to say bad student or bad learner, but I feel like I'm one of those where I don't learn from just like one mistake. I have to keep trying it over and over. And so, I mean, the bankruptcy, gosh, that was such a long time ago. I'm like, but I wasn't very aware of how my thoughts were creating it. So I just thought, okay, if I, like everyone says, if I saved and if I didn't spend money, then I would get out of it. And so there was a period of time, I say like a good year or maybe even 2, where I didn't spend any, like extra money or, you know what I mean? Like I didn't buy anything. And I even ran like this organic co-op produce so that I could get the organic fruits and vegetables for free for my community, and then I realized that, yeah, just not spending money on things, it didn't change. So yeah. So I said good 2 years where I was just, playing mom, to my little ones and not spending any money and trying to just appreciate and appreciating what I had. And I realized it didn't really change anything. In fact, it got worse. Because now I know that it's your thoughts. They're, it starts going downward spiral,
I think what you're saying, you know what, Melody, is the pink elephant in the room. Like, you think you're doing something, you think you're reading something, you think you're doing something, you think you know, but what you're doing is actually you're sweeping the dust under the carpet for the past 2 years. Am I right? So what was that moment for you? Like, you know what? I actually have to vacuum it and get rid of it, and I can't sweep it under my carpet. But what was that aha moment for you? Because, Melody, you and I work with so many people who have so many excuses. Like, I think I know, I don't have to make any shifts. I just got to know. My soul knows better. If I'm meant to do this, God will provide me the way. La, 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 la. How the spiritual community can go so woo-woo, right? So there must be something that right smack. I'm not going to share my story with you today. You can read it, on another day. But today it's about you. And I know you have this like moment as well. Like, you know what? I have to freaking wake up right now. I can't avoid that moment. I can't stop this anymore. So what was that moment for you? Because 2 years is a long time.
Well, I thought that's just what everyone else did at the time. And that's what drove me to buy Tony Robbins and things like that. And that's when I had the breakdown moment. Is actually what happened was my parents got a divorce.
So before you go on, can I just ask quickly, do you think you actually need to know what you need to shift before that shift can happen?
Do you need to know what it is? No. Yeah, I don't. I think what happens is, when it gets so bad that, I don't think you realize, because I didn't know, but it just got so bad and I had that breakdown moment. It's when things get so bad that you just decide, okay, no more. I don't want to, I need to change, like, big time. How I've been living is not working. So I just need to do something. Like, I'm finally ready because I'm in so much pain, basically.
Right. So it's interesting. I mean, I have a similar story, and I think a lot of successful people have those stories as well. Like, nothing changes for you until you feel that pain, and then you have no choice but to let go. So during those 2 years, even though you felt the pain, do you agree that you are tolerating, or like what's going on during those 2 years, even though you felt the pain?
I guess it's kind of like that dull pain that you tolerate. And I think a lot of people do that because they might focus on one area and kind of tolerate the rest until, I don't know, something breaks down. So, it's smart if you are able to recognize those things before you break down. That's the smartest way. But I feel like my second time that I had the big shift with the soul calling, that's, I didn't totally break down at that time. But I just realized, because maybe the previous breakdown, that I realized that if I kept going at this pace, then it's not going to work.
Sure. So you have shared with us like the journey. I mean, not many people actually go through bankrupt. They think about it, they're afraid of it, but I haven't gone through it. I was almost, but didn't. So what would be, that is the reason why you do what you do, right? Like, you're manifesting mojo, you're this manifesting sweet spot. So tell us more about that. Has this thing that you have created, this beautiful program that you have created, is the fundamentals based on your story?
Yeah, and the reason why we went bankrupt was because my husband also had a dream, and he started a business. That's what happened. But he went through like the old school way of getting a huge loan from the government and having a partner and renting a huge office space with
the traditional way. You're right.
Yeah, the traditional way. This was a long time ago, remember? So that's what happened. So in hindsight, everything happens for a reason. And I'm glad that he was able to experience that. And I'm glad that I was able to experience, rock bottom also, because now I can really understand and empathize. And it's funny because someone was having a hard time with money last week, and she said, well, she wasn't a client, but she was saying, well, I bet you were never bankrupt or you never had problems with money. And I said, well, actually I have. So, once I said that, she could have asked for help, but she didn't. But so it puts me in a place where I can really understand. And yes, the manifesting sweet spot, the course that I'm going to be teaching, I'm doing a webinar, but it's really the steps that I took to, to climb out of that and to really be conscious of creating the life that you desire, you deeply desire, not by default or unconsciously, but that once you are aware and conscious, that you can really design the life that you want.
Sure. So I want to ask you, having been to both ends, heaven and hell, what have you discovered about money, that your truth about money, that you are living so abundantly right now? So share with us your truth about money.
My truth. Money is energy, and like everything else, and it's a tool, it's a currency that we're using to exchange things and services. So we can't put so much focus on money as if money itself is going to solve everything, And I think a lot of people focus on money. Well, if I had money, then I'll be happy. If I had money, then my relationship will be better. Or if I had, money, then I'll be healthy. But it's not really the money. Money is going to help you buy the end result. So, if you can figure out what is the end result that you're really after, because every time you ask yourself questions and really find the reasons and the why you desire something, that's where the answer is,
Cool.
The drive.
Cool. So one last question, and I'm sure many people have that, and I'm sure you get that all the time. So I get my desire. I know my why. Why is the money? Why is the money not showing up for me? If I'm meant to do this, and I know my why so much, so why is money not showing up on time for me? I think the word is on time for me.
On time? You mean like right away, right now?
I think our on time and divine's on time is a little bit different. But let's just say, I'm sure you have gone through this as well. Somebody wants to do your program and they tell you, what, I don't have the money right now. So, that's like, I want it right now. That's the on time, right? Or I want to buy a house right now. I know why I need a house. Or I want to go on a holiday. I know why I need a holiday. So why is the money not showing up for me on time? I know we have experienced all these before. Like, why is it not showing up on time for us? So what would you say to that? I mean, like, this is a common question, and I know you're the manifesting mama mermaid. So let us learn from your point of view.
Okay, well, like I was saying, money is energy. So I'll just give couple of simple tips. So number one is, because we are all actually, master manifestors. We're always continuously creating all the time. But most of us do it unconsciously. We're not really consciously thinking about it or saying we want something. So what happens is, we can be saying with our words that we want more money. However, what we're truly believing in our hearts and in our core is that many different things about money. Money is evil, or money, I have to work hard for money. And many of us feel that if we did actually have more money, or say if we got super wealthy, that things are going to change drastically, that we might not be able to handle. So, I remember I had this pivotal moment with my husband, when we're really young, that he was saying that, well, I don't want to be too busy because I want to spend time with, my family. And I remember he said this because his belief was that his dad was always busy working.
Mm-hmm.
So subconsciously he had this belief that, well, I don't want to be like that.
Right.
So you see, and I remember I said, I'm going to release you now, honey. Go ahead and work as hard as you want because you're already busy anyway. So this is the thing. So if we believe that, if I do get money, then my life will be bad or it's negative. So if you have that thought, then there's no way that you are going to have the money, have the money come into your life because you're kind of like pushing it away. You're saying you want it, but you're actually pushing it away. So
I guess what you're saying, it's like people may say, I want this and I figured out my why. I figured out my desires. And really, there's actually no reason why the money shouldn't show up on time. And if it doesn't, then you need to really do your duty and to understand what's really holding you back. Like, go deep within yourself and find out these little misalignments. Are you thinking and saying what you really want and what you really desire? Is that what you're saying, Melody?
Yeah, because what you're saying you want and what you're actually thinking deep within is probably in misalignment, like you're saying. It's not same. Right. Because so this is another thing that a lot of women say is they get super jealous or they criticize or judge other women with money, or I don't know, if we think that they're being flashy with their money, say like if you see someone with a big diamond ring, you could say something like, boy, does she need such a huge rock, like their kids starving.
For sure, I need it.
Their kids starving over there, or you know what I mean? So if you can recognize what is your immediate reaction whenever you observe someone with money, because this is if you are saying you want more money. So try to see how you react to other people who seem to have money. I can guarantee you probably will be judging or have some kind of judgmental thoughts, because if you are able to celebrate other people, then that's the energy that will bring you money also. Because if you're judgmental about money, whether it's with you or with other people, then money is not going to come to you.
Right.
Sure. You're saying, hey, money is bad. Having too much money is bad, or
right.
Yeah.
So I think it's like at the end of the day, we can blame everyone, but really you are the one sabotaging yourself and you're the one who's selling your money. So take responsibility for that.
Yes.
So I know we are coming to an end, and I know you have a wonderful course to teach us everything that you have just said. So before you tell us where we can find you, can you give us something more? Like, what is the last thing? Like, if there's only one thing you could give the audience, like the one thing that, forget about what I just said early on, right? Like, this is one thing. Then why are we doing all that? But the number one thing, there's one thing to do to just manifest everything. It could be money, it could be everything, right? I mean, money is just part of something. What would that number one tip to do that you eat and breathe on a daily basis?
Well, just know that you are worthy also, that you are as deserving, as worthy, as capable of being rich or having money, or, and or having abundance, enough as much as you deserve, that you want. So just know that you're worthy and that you can have it. It's up to you. So
it's up to you. So now
it's up to you to decide and say, okay, yes, I want it. Because a lot of people are like, well, I don't need that much money, or I don't really need, Yeah.
So now it's up to you to decide if you want to know more about Melody. And she really has a fantastic course coming up. After listening to her story, I mean, to be honest, there's no new information out there. There isn't. everybody's teaching the same thing. But what's unique about these individual teachers, for you, for me, for Melody, is our stories and whether you can connect with that person. So if today you can connect with Melody and her story resonates with you, the culture, the bankruptcy, the husband, and kids, then really I see no reason why you shouldn't get in touch with her. I know she's a free webinar coming up, and it's free. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we're not selling anything here. We are inviting you to your own greatness. So now I am inviting you to check her out. So now I invite you, Melody, to tell us where we can find you.
Okay, thank you. It's manifestingsweetspot.com. manifestingsweetspot.com. And yeah, really, I am really passionate about teaching from an individual perspective and practical way. I'm really bringing down the spiritual principles and bring it into practical day-to-day life, where you don't have to be meditating 5 hours a day or anything like that. You can still be in total alignment and bring in all that you are desiring. So
awesome. Cool. Once again, where is that? Manifesting?
Sweet spot.
Sweet spot. Cool. It is a sweet spot. Alrighty. Thank you so much, Melody, for being here with us. She is indeed the mama mermaid, right? I told you. She's gorgeous. She's elegant. So like what she said, we women judge so much. We women are so critical of ourselves. And as a result, we are so critical of other people. No wonder we can't find friends. Just saying. But, this is a community of sisterhood. It's a community of spiritual sisterhood, spiritual community in the community itself. That's why I'm doing this for you. And, there are so many gems in our community, 17,000 members. There are lots of gems for sure. So I invite you to step out of the woods, contact whoever you need to contact, reach out for help. That's why Melody is also stepping up. And by the way, it's not really convenient for her as well because it's a Sunday for her. And, so it is what it is. Alrighty, so this is Elisa, and I look forward to seeing you in another episode. And if you are called to join our community, go ahead and Facebook search us. It's the Spiritual Entrepreneurs. You see my lovely face. I just at you for a while. You must see my face there. And let's get connected. All right. So once again, we have Melody with us, the manifesting mama mermaid. Easy to remember. And it's Manifesting Sweet Spot. Go find her there. Register yourself. If the webinar is over, just register yourself as well. I'm sure she has a replay there for you. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care. Bye. Love you so much.